Well, what is going on, guys, and welcome into the video. So it's time for Palantir's earnings, and with the market in chaos and a recession here and conflicting data everywhere, Palantir's earnings are critical to if this rally can continue or if we get a long hard fall back down under $10. Add in the fact that the stock is on an epic run from recent all-time lows, and is this the perfect setup for Palantir to dip not just under $10, but possibly go all the way back down to all-time lows again? So I want to address exactly what I see happening and my exact plan through it all. I just ask in exchange for you to gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do. Alright, so this earnings season has once again been nothing short of extraordinary. I mean, you have mega caps still moving wildly like they're small caps, but the market is finally starting to reward anyone with good earnings or okay earnings with good guidance. Now, yes, misses and misses mixed with lower guidance are being punished with, 10%, even 20% moves downward, and you have huge misses being rewarded with 25% downward moves or more. That part is not unusual and perfectly in line with the past couple of earnings seasons, but where this earnings season is different is good earnings going back to being rewarded again, instead of being rewarded with a 5% beatdown instead of a 20% plus beatdown for a miss. Earnings season is usually wild and doesn't make much sense, but it has been epically ridiculous so far this year. But there is, just a little touch of normalcy kind of returning to earnings this quarter. Having said that, I see Palantir's earnings just a little bit differently. There is just a constant battle going on with this stock. I mean, is it the future $1 trillion company? Or is it just trash and another stock destined to be bankrupt in a few years? Seriously, guys, people see it as just another stock Wall Street will be late to, or it's complete overhyped garbage doomed to fail. Kind of like Tesla was a few years ago, and probably not as extreme on the bull or the bear side, but Palantir clearly falls into the I get it and it's going to be big one day, or I don't get it and it's overpriced hype like many stocks popular on YouTube were last year. And I mean, we all know what happened to most of those stocks from the penny hype craze last year on YouTube, where stocks with nothing more than a PowerPoint were the future and going to change the world. Unfortunately, I think Palantir's earnings will give both sides more talking points that will bolster their positions, which means it essentially will remain extremely divided for now. I think Palantir is a small beat on revenue, and it increases its free cash flow once again. And for those of you that don't understand their structure, how they report, and their intricacies of their balance sheet, that is the number to watch the most based upon how they do their accounting is free cash flow. They also have several new contracts that were announced this quarter, and I believe they're really showing their value in the crisis that is unfolding in Ukraine and the fallout throughout Europe, and that too has really increased its strength and visibility with investors, with several European nations either entering in contracts with Palantir or at least having discussions with Palantir. Wall Street has taken notice, and that is one of the reasons for the nice run we have seen over the past month or so. Now yes, I hate that that is happening to the people of Ukraine, and Palantir being able to help in a multitude of ways in that whole Russia situation just shows the value of what they do, and they will reap contracts well into the future because of it. Like I said, it's unfortunate that it has to go that way with those people there. It really does suck, but I can't control it. I can't control all other stuff, and for better or worse, Palantir is one of the stocks that's going to benefit from that. We also had several large contracts renewed, which proves that the business model once again is very sticky, and that at this stage it is very hard for customers, especially the government, to switch vendors. But on the downside, the huge benefits that will come from Palantir proving to be so critical in helping with the Ukraine crisis will not be felt this quarter or even next quarter, but later this year at the earliest. So those will not hit the bottom line to help this quarter's financials for sure. And don't even get me started on the whole commercial versus government side of the business. I mean, Palantir cures cancer. Someone will complain and say they are trash and that, something's wrong with what's going on there. I guess that's just kind of the world that we live in now, guys. Bottom line, there is nothing in this earnings that will either prove the bears or the bulls right with this stock. However, Alex and his team over there are not trying to win the battle today, and honestly, they are not even concerned with any of this stuff anyways. And if you did your due diligence on this management team, you know that is not their focus at all. So you really can't expect huge, incredible earnings if they are not gearing the business towards that in the first place. And if you do happen to get big, huge, incredible earnings, trust me, it could have been a lot bigger if they played all the other games that all the other companies on Wall Street play. So what am I doing personally? Well, I've been busy buying the dip like crazy when it was at $6 and $7 and, right underneath $10 essentially, despite all the noise during that time saying, don't buy, the market's going lower. This indicator says it's the fourth Sunday of the month, and this chart is flashing 69, so that means every stock that starts with a P will fall 50% because Japanese stocks fell 50% on this exact day in 1972. I ignored all that noise, and so did many of you, and absolutely most of our members in my group, as the buy alerts were just going off like crazy during that time frame because the stock hit our price targets and we just couldn't believe we were getting it, $7, $6, low sixes in some cases. It was incredible. Which, don't forget to check out the group if you want to see all my buys like those in real time, my watch list with price targets. You can take 4 courses for free, and you have a massive support group cutting through the noise to help you navigate the chaos with actual facts. So at least check out the pinned comment down below and see if it's right for you. But the bottom line is, I wasn't listening to the noise, and I was not going to take advantage of a crazy opportunity that was right in front of me because it might go lower. But let me be clear and upfront with this fact too. You cannot time the market. Nobody can time the market. And I'm seeing the sell and take your gains and go all cash on YouTube and a lot of other places again because we've had a nice sustained rally. Honestly, the time to sell and go all cash was last November, not in the depths of a crash like we're still in right now. And just because they sell today and it goes lower tomorrow does not mean it was a good move unless you bought that next lower move down, which if you did that, it will probably go lower than after that in the short term, and you're still losing, except now you incurred a tax bill if you sold for a gain, and you are essentially now a long-term investor trying to day trade or market time. That never works out over the long run, especially for a long-term buy and hold investor. If you're a long-term investor like me, what happens tomorrow is not really your concern since nobody knows what will happen with any degree of accuracy. So that means if you're worried about what Palantir will do tomorrow, or finding the bottom, or guessing the stock price movements based upon what the Fed says, or buying and selling based upon recession indicators or anything else like that, then you are short-term speculating or trying to time the market. Phrase it however you want, but that is exactly what you are doing. This is also why having your plan set before the earnings call is key. And I know many of you hate that I say it over and over and over again, but planning and having price targets is key to investing. I'm not playing Wall Street's games, but if I have a plan and price targets, I can take advantage of the chaos that they create if you play the long game and stay away from all that short-term speculation and stick to your plan and your price targets. So I am simply sitting back and watching the numbers and then watching what Wall Street does to see if they give me some juicy discounts that you guys know I love. If so, I absolutely will be a buyer as I have cash ready to deploy because I don't care about the short-term price action. I care about how the business is performing. What, suddenly the price goes down and Palantir isn't performing as a business or is just a terrible company? That's just silly, and every stock gets decoupled from the underlying fundamentals of the company from time to time, and those are some of the best times to buy those stocks. Wall Street wants to give me Palantir at $8 again? I will happily take it. And if Wall Street gets really dumb and sends it to $7, I will add again. And yes, I will still add at $8, for example, even if that is all the cash that I had, because I don't care about the price next month, next week, or even next year, to be honest. I'm looking out 3 to 5 years, and I personally will be quite happy with my $8 shares, even if it went lower in the short term. Holding and looking to add at your price target when the short-term issues arise, like an earnings call that is great, but the stock sells off anyway, is the perfect time I like to add. So make sure you have your price targets ready so you can execute if they hit. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you don't know how to get a price target or how to do evaluation and want a step-by-step process for doing that, building wealth, and you want direct access to me and much more, remember to check out the pinned comment to become a member and at least look at everything you get before, deciding whether you want to be a member or not. And click this video here for the stocks I'm still buying in this market, and click here for exactly what I'm doing to make huge money in this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.